It is Thursday, the 22nd of September, and welcome to Daniel 11:33, the most exciting Bible study on YouTube. If this is your first time, please leave a comment, introduce yourself, and tell us where you are from. Germany has a new leader with a brand new vision. This new leader, Chancellor Scholz, is really pushing for a United States of Europe to create an EU superstate, that is a European Union superstate. The Bible tells us of a future 10 nation union that will be a collective union of a one world government, which will be the foundation for the reign of the Antichrist. Today, we will discuss how the vision of Chancellor Scholz aligns with Bible prophecy. God introduced the future kingdoms that would arise and be in power when Christ returns to claim his throne, where he will be crowned King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The first time we see these nations is in the book of Daniel. The book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 7, verses 23 to 27. Let us look at those verses and really see what God has been telling us. Verse 23, and it says, the fourth beast shall be a fourth kingdom on earth, which shall be different from all other kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, trample it, and break it into pieces. The 10 horns are 10 kings who shall arise from the kingdom, and another shall arise after them. He shall be different from the first ones, and shall subdue 3 kings. He shall speak pompous words against the Most High, shall persecute the saints of the Most High, and shall intend to change times and law. Then the saints shall be given into his hand for a time and times and half a time. But the court shall be seated, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and destroy it forever. Then the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdoms under the whole heaven shall be given to the people, the saints of the Most High. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Okay, so here we have the fourth beast. Remember in Daniel 7, there are 4 beasts that come up out of the sea. We have the fourth beast. Okay, it is a fourth kingdom. That's what God telling us. It is a fourth king. It's a kingdom. They're all kingdoms. They come up out of the sea, the multitudes of people. Okay, and so there's a 10. The fourth beast has 10 horns. The 10 horns represent 10 kingdoms. 10 horns. The beast has 10 horns, and each horn represents, this is the vision that Daniel seen. They are 10 kingdoms. So there's going to be 10 kingdoms, and out of those 10 kingdoms, there's going to be one horn that uproots 3. Okay, he's going to be different from the first 10. He's going to be different, and he's going to subdue 3 kings, and he will speak pompous words against the Most High. So against God, he is going to speak pompous words against God, and he shall intend to change the laws. And the saints, that are people who believe in Jesus Christ, those who have repented and turn from their wicked ways. The saints who have changed the way that they live their life. They are no longer governing their lives, right? We have given our lives, surrendered our sovereignty over to Jesus Christ. The saints shall be given into his hand for a time, times, and half a time. That's 3.5 years. So this king will reign for 3.5 years. But in verse 26, it tells us the court shall be seated and they shall take away his dominion. Whose dominion? The horn. Okay, so the horn, which is the Antichrist, who is ruling, his dominion will be taken away by who? The court, Jesus Christ. So Jesus will be coming back, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people, the saints of the Most High. And the kingdom is the everlasting kingdom. That is the kingdom of Jesus Christ. So Jesus Christ, when he returns, the Antichrist will be governing this one world government system. Germany's chancellor is pushing for a super state so that they can, y'all know Germany had been severed. The Berlin Wall had separated Germany because the world did not want the power of the Germans to continue to move and push forward. World War One, World War Two, remember? And they had to sever Germany. Germany has always wanted to be a superpower once again. That hasn't changed. Okay, so I have a complete lesson on Daniel 7, a complete lesson which details the beast, their identity, and how they will reign and how we will recognize them. Okay, so you interested in that Daniel 7 lesson? You know where it is. Daniel, go ahead and click that right there. All right. Now, Revelation 13 is a continuation. So it continues to talk to us about the beasts, those same beasts, right? So now let's look at Revelation 13. We're going to look at Revelation 13 and we're going to start at verse 1, okay? Now let's look at that. And it says, "Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name." Okay, so here we have the same beast. This is the same beast coming up, and this beast had 10 horns, and he had 7 heads. Okay, 7 heads, but he had 10 horns. Remember, this government will be comprised of a 4-headed leopard. There's going to be a bear, and then there's going to be a lion. Now, we have the 4-headed leopard, that's 4. Then we have the bear, that's 5. And we have the lion, that's 6. And the beast itself is 7. So there's 7 heads. And on that 7th head, which is the 4th beast, that 7, he's going to have 10 crowns upon his head. So it's a 7-headed, 10-horned beast. It's the same beast here in Revelation 13 as it was in Daniel 7. Now, there is a complete lesson available on Revelation 13, and it covers the Antichrist, the false prophet, the one world religion, and the one world government. And you already know where that lesson is. You can click a link right here. Click that link for the lesson on Revelation 13. Complete details. Now, let us look at the headlines. Okay, let's look at the headlines. The headline, it reads, "Germany pushes for enlarged EU superstate that will reduce national sovereignty." National sovereignty. Well, what is national sovereignty? National sovereignty is the absolute capability and power of a sovereign nation to independently govern, free from external interference. You remember back in 2020, Brexit happened. That is Britain's exit. They called it Brexit. Britain's exit happened in January of 2020. And the root of the problem was sovereignty. Britain was not ready to completely give up its sovereignty. When you become unified with other nations or states, there will always be some degree of relinquishing of power. And Britain was not in total agreement with surrendering their sovereignty over to someone else to make decisions for them. There were other concerns, of course, but that was a big part of the exit or Brexit. So when the prophesied 10 nation union is formed, the Bible tells us their power and authority was given up to the beast. The beast, remember, the beast are the beasts that come out, the Antichrist, who was given power by the devil or the dragon, Satan himself. Okay, they were given power. You cannot come together and everyone be in charge. There's only one person. It's like when you form a business, you may have business partners. Well, one of those business partners has to be the one that makes the decisions. There's going to be accountability, but there's only one. That's how this is going to work. Okay. Now back to the headlines. This is not the first time that this conversation has come up. All right. Hacker News reports here. It says German government will push for a European federation. All right. German government will push for a European federation. This is all over. This is Germany. Germany, remember, Germany is the superpower in Europe. Always have been and will be until Jesus returns. Germany is the superpower, and they are pushing for a European federation. Let's look at the next one. The next one is from DW.com, and it reads Germany's Olaf Scholz pushes for stronger EU issues warning to Russia. So he's issued a warning to Russia. Y'all know everyone is concerned about what Russia is doing over in the European Union. And Scholz, Chancellor Scholz, is really determined to make sure that Europe, Western Europe, is prepared to defend and defend themselves against anything that Eastern Europe, which is Russia, intends to do. They don't want to be another Ukraine. All right. So the Telegraph. Now the Telegraph reports. It says Germany to push for United States of Europe an overhaul of foreign policy. So Germany is to push for a United States of Europe. They're pushing for a United States of Europe. Now, somewhere out of these United States, because right now they have the European Union, but there's no military. Okay, we have the United Nations, right? But they want a military that they can call upon to defend. And so they're out of this European Union, there's going to be 10 nations. We don't know what these nations, who they are, what it's going to look like. We just know that it's going to happen because God has already told us that. Now, Prophecy News Watch has reported Germany pushes for enlarged EU superstate that will reduce national sovereignty. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is pushing for a series of changes that would help the EU overcome internal divisions and stand up to external rivals such as Russia and China. In his address, Scholz repeatedly cited the threat posed to the EU by Russia under its authoritarian president, warning that any disunity among us, any weakness is grist to Vladimir Putin's meal. Now, the idea of an EU superstate with its own army idea has been around since the days of Winston Churchill and seems to be revived like every decade. Remember back in 2018, there was a report, and it's the French president, Emmanuel Macron, he was pushing for a coalition, a 10-nation coalition of the willing. He was wanting to bring together a 10-nation coalition to prepare European armed forces to act together in emergencies. In 2019, Macron's coalition of European militaries grows in force. That was the report. Now, at this point, we know there will be a one world government. We know that a 10-nation coalition and a leader will lead the governmental power once it is established. The question is, when will we see it all fulfilled?